It's Chelsa Messenger with Picks and Parlays. We're talking NBA action. The NBA is finally back after its short break for the All-Star weekend, and we've got some action to look at. We're looking at the Sixers and the Bulls. We've got a promo code. The code is MAD for 20% off the entire site at picksandparlays.net. Bulls favored -2, total of 229.5, and that is because Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons are both on the quarantine list for the Sixers. So the Bulls are favored in this one. We've got Craig Trapp here to break this one all down for us. Craig, obviously not the Sixers team that we've seen over the season because, the two best players are out. But what's your take on this one?
Well, I think the Bulls, maybe they sent that barber in that ended up being positive is the reason why these guys, because big advantage for the Bulls coming off a rest, of course, for both of these teams, and Bulls team that's been way better. I mean, I don't think anybody thought this Bulls team could be close to 500, 16-18 on the year, and pretty good against the spread, 20-14 against the spread overall. So I like the Bulls here -2. I just think without Simmons, without Embiid, you have to assume that the Sixers are going to struggle on defense because those are two of their better defenders, and then to get easy baskets. And Zach LaVine is playing out of his mind. I mean, deserving All-Star, and I don't think you could say he's one of the most improved players, but he's definitely been one of the biggest, for key contributors for one team. You'd have to say he's up there with that. And I like the Bulls here -2. They haven't been great at home against the spread. They've actually been better on the road against the spread, which I know is crazy. But I think in this situation, rested against the Sixers team without their two best players, you have to take the Bulls here.
Yeah, I think that would be my one worry is because the Bulls in their normal situation as underdogs and especially on the road have been especially profitable. But when you're talking about at home, they're not nearly as good. 7-11 at home and 9-7 away. Really questionable home and road splits for them. So, yeah, I think it's obviously the big question mark for Philly is who can fill in the blanks for Joel Embiid. Those are mighty big shoes to fill down low, figuratively and literally speaking. Looking at a total of 229.5, any leagues there?
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. I would lean towards the under, but the one thing is, the Sixers have their two best defenders out. So you have to think the Bulls are going to score kind of at will, and the Sixers probably going to play a little more wide open than normal without a big in the middle. So it's kind of counterintuitive because usually the first game back after the All-Star break, I usually would say under on most all these teams with a little rust from the jump shooters. But I think this one probably goes over. Obviously the much better play on the Bulls on the side. But I think this one probably ends up going over with Philly really struggling to stop a Bulls team that's been scoring pretty good lately.
Right, especially LaVine. I've looked at some of his player props, and sometimes it's 30 points, and he still goes over it. So he's been a scoring machine for the Bulls as of late. That's going to do it for our NBA talk here on Picks and Parlays. Great stuff from Craig Trapp. As always, Craig, thanks for joining us.